Oh, the summer was nearly over. Jason and I were bored and broke when we saw the ad. Help wanted, one day only, set up traveling carnival and earn big money. Let's do it, Jason said. I looked at him to see if he was serious. He was. I knew what my parents would say if I asked permission to work at a traveling carnival. My mother would say, absolutely not. Those carnival workers are nothing but riff-raff, and I don't want you to associate with them. My father would say, sorry, Paul, I admire your initiative in trying to earn money, but you'd better stick to lawn mowing for a while. When I told Jason this, he snorted with disgust. Lawn mowing in one day as a carnival worker, you will learn as much as you'd get in a week mowing lawns. And it will be a lot more exciting. This, he declared, will be a day you'll never forget. Then he told me that instead of asking our parents for permission, we were going to finagle. The first step in finagling was to decide which of our parents might be the most likely to give it and say yes. We decided on my mom. Jason instructed me to wait until mom was concentrating on something else before I spoke. I caught her when she was reading a recipe and trying to measure the ingredients, which turned out to be a good time. I said, Mom, I have a chance to earn money tomorrow. Jason is going to do it and he wants me to go with him. If it's okay with that, is it okay with you? Mom squinted at her cookbook and said, well, I suppose if your father thinks it's alright, you can go. Next, Jason said to approach my father, but to wait until he was thinking about something else. Ideal times, according to Jason, are when he's watching a ball game on TV or reading his favorite section of the newspaper. I caught Dad when he was talking back to the broadcaster on TV. I said, Mom says I can go with Jason tomorrow to work at the carnival. Is that okay with you too? He nodded and said, all right, and kept right on arguing with the man on TV. Next stop was Jason's house. It was a breeze just like he said it would be. All he had to do was say that I had already spoken with my parents and they both agreed that working at the carnival was a fine idea. I was impressed. Jason said it was a common sense. He said even the most conscious parents would rather not have to ask a billion questions about when you're going and who's talking to you and who else will be there and what time will you be home. If they think some other parents has already gone through all of that, they're happy to accept the other parent's judgment. He said finagling with parents can work over and over again so long as nobody finds out you're doing it. He also said finagling should be used only for events which are critical to my happiness and not wasted on unimportant things like eating chocolate chip cookies before dinner. He warned me that the less said about our day at the carnival, the better. He said we would pocket our wages and keep quiet, otherwise we would stir up a hornet's nest of trouble. I said it was going to be hard to finally do something interesting and then not tell anyone about it. Jason said if you go home and flash two $20 bills and tell how two scumballs try to get you to spend it on marijuana, your parents are immediately going to insist that they would never give you permission to work at any carnival. They might even call my parents and get me in the pickle too. Worst of all, they will question each other about exactly what was said, and then they'll put two and two together and come up with the fact that you finagled them into giving permission. Then there will be some excitement in your life. I agreed it would be the best to keep my mouth shut. I never worked so hard as I did at the carnival. By the end of the afternoon, every muscle in my body ached. The man in charge of swore at me when I had to go to the bathroom while we were driving the stakes for the biggest tent. And the pay wasn't as great as we had thought it would be. Either we earned a little more than we would have if we had mowed lawns all day, but not much more. I sure didn't have to worry about flashing any 20s around. I dragged myself home and took a bath without being told. As I soaked my aching muscles, I decided it was the most miserable day I'd ever spent. I would have fallen asleep there in the tub, except I was afraid that I might have drowned. When I went down to dinner, my parents were waiting for me. My father held the evening newspaper. My mother's eyes were flashing fire. There on page 4 was a story about the carnival and a picture of some workers driving 10 snakes into the ground. I don't need to tell you who one of those workers was. I was grounded for a week and I had to donate my meager earnings to charity. My mother called Jason's mother and told her how we had finagled them and he got grounded too. Jason got to keep his money, which didn't seem fair, but I knew better than to argue. Jason was right about one thing. It was a day I'll never forget. I worked too hard for a mean boss, made very little money, and felt guilty because I tricked my folks. At the end, I was still bored and broke, only now I was grounded too. I am never going to finagle again. It isn't worth it.
Very good. Round of applause.